Okay. So random module is a module which generates random numbers. So what we are going to cover in this, let's talk about it. Random module. So we will first see how to print random, uh, you know, float numbers between 0 to 1.0. Second, we will see random number between some limit, let's say a and b, and this will be again, this will be a float number, so it will be between limit a and b, between number a and b. Then random integer between a and b, and then the random integer range, basically more than one number, a and b. So isko let me divide into two categories. First is float, second is int. और ये float वाला, let me move here. And integer वाला, let's move here. One second. ठीक है, let it be. I'm not able to move it. ठीक है, so let's check. Let's see the random module. So first we will see how to print a random float number between 0 and 1.0. Okay. Okay. So in order to use the random module, we have to import random module. So random module basically comes as part of Python standard library. So when you install Python, you don't have to specifically or separately install random module. It comes by default with the Python standard library. Now, in order to print number between 0 and 1.0, so when I'm talking about any number between 0.0 and 1.0, so this means 0.0 also it can basically print. So it is included. So maths may, if you have noticed, so we number when we used to include, we basically do by square bracket, and 1.0 is not included. So anything less than 1.0, till there it can generate. So 1.0 is not included. So we used to denote it like this, right? Something like this, 0.0 comma 1.0, like this, right? So that's how we denote it. So in order to print this kind of number, what we will directly use print statement. Inside it, we will use random dot random. So random is a function which will generate the random float number between 0 and 0 and 1.0. So if I'll run it, it will generate the number. You can see that it is generating a random number between 0 and 0.1.0. Now, in order to print a random number between A and B, A comma B. So B here is included. So A and B both can be, it can generate between A and B, including A and B. So that's why I have denoted the starting bracket also as square bracket and ending bracket also as square bracket. So anything between A and B, it has to generate. For that, what we have to do is we have to use a uniform function. And let's say I want to generate a number between 10 comma 90. Okay. So it will generate any number between 10 comma 90, any random number. You can see that it is generating float number 29.371. And starting and end range also, it can be integer. sorry, float. Let's see that if it accepts it. Something like this, if I'll give, then also it should work. It is generating the random number between these two numbers. So this is about float. Now, next thing is to see generating a random integer between A and B. So for generating a random integer between A and B, I will use rad int. And rand int, here you cannot give float value. Here it has to be integer value. So between 10 and 90, if I want to generate a random integer, I have to use it like it. You can see it. It is generating a random integer between 10 and 90 range. Okay, and A and B can be positive and negative also. Let's say if I want to generate between -10 and -90, it will throw error because first number you have to give basically the smaller number. So minus may -90 is a smaller. So like this you have to give, and now it will generate between -10 and -90, -45. So this is how you generate a random integer between any two number. Okay. Now next thing uh, is random integer range between A and B. Okay. So what is that? So let's say if I'm writing RAND range, and range I am giving here as let's say 10. And if I'll run it, so it will, uh, 1 second, right. Hmm. 1 second. Mhm. Okay. ठीक है. So how does it work? So output will be single number only. Here in rand range, what you give na? So the parameters are start, end, and step size. ठीक है. Now what is what does it mean is that यहाँ पे when you will be using rand range, first will be the start index you can give. Starting index is 0, ending is 10, and then let's say 101, and then step size is 10. Now what it will basically do, this is rand range, spelling is wrong. What it will do from 0 to 101, it will create the range of numbers with step size 10. So range of number will be, uh, it will be 0, 10, 20, 30, and till 100 it will generate the range. Now out of this generated range, it will pick one random number. So it will either pick 0, it will either pick 10, 20, 30, or any number in this given range. It's not like that it will print 15 or it will print 16, because the generated range is the set of these numbers. So from the set of these numbers only it will print. And when we don't give step size, so this we have to give. This is mandatory. This part is mandatory, right? And this part is mandatory, and this start index and step size are optional. So when we ran the program where we have given rand range, what we have given 10, I think we have given, right? So what it has done, it has taken by default the start index as 0 and step size as 1. So it has generated the range of number 0, 1, 2, 3 till 10 it has generated. And out of this range of number, it has picked up one random number, which is 6. Now let's try to take this example. ये वाला example we'll see and then see what it generate basically. So यहाँ पे starting range, let me put as 0, end range 101, stop, start and stop, and then 10 is the step size. So when I'll run it, it has generated 20. Again, when I'm running 90, see, you can see that in the output, it will be picking only random number from the generated range. 0, 30, 100, 50. It is not picking 22 or 51, something like that, because it is picking from the generated range. I can start, I can change it from 0 to, let's say, if I'll do 3. So क्या होगा? Here the generated range will be 3 and then plus 10, 13, then plus 10, 23, 33 till 93 it will go. So it will pick any number from this particular range that is generated. So 3, 13, 20, 333 until 93. It will pick any random number. Let's see if it happens. You can see that in the output 53, 93, 43, 3, 83. So this is how this rand range work basically. So output will be the random number from the generated range according to the parameters that we provide in this. Okay. So this is about the generation of random float numbers and random integer numbers. Okay. Now next thing is random choice. So random choice, how it works basically is that we'll see, let's say I have a list of colors. I have mentioned red, green, blue, and let's say one more color, yellow. Now out of this list, I have to pick one random element. Okay. So for that, what I will do, print random dot choice of color. So what we are doing, we are using choice function, and inside choice function, we are giving the list from which we want to pick a random element. So when I'll run it, it is, see, it has, picked up red. If I'll run next time, it is printing blue, 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 yellow, blue. So this is how the random choice basically work. Next is shuffling. Shuffling. So what does shuffling do? So basically, it works on a mutable sequence. So mutable sequence means list, and it does not work on string or tuple. So what it basically do, it is basically used to shuffle the original, sequence of the list. So let's say we have a list of this, right? Red, green, blue. So this is an ordered data structure. So 0th index pe red will be there, 1 pe green, 2 pe blue, and 3 pe yellow will be there, right? So this is the sequence, current sequence. Now I want to shuffle this. So what I will do, I will use shuffle function. And before shuffling, let's print the colors. And okay, random dot this is shuffling, so print will not work here. We'll see what happens if we use print on shuffle. If I'll run this, it is printing none, because shuffle may print, you cannot use shuffle function, do not return anything. That is why it is printing none. So I'm doing shuffling on this, and then again I am printing this list color. So if I'll run this, see, before shuffling, it is printing the original list, right? The order of elements is same as what we have given here. After shuffling, when I'm printing, it has shuffled the elements. So now when I'll run, every time it will be different. See, it is shuffling the list, and the order of the elements are different every time when I'm running this program. So this is the work. This is the usage of shuffle function basically. Okay, now we have a lot of other things also, seeding, and then random distribution in random module. That is something you can explore on your own side, but basic things that you can make use of the shuffle, sorry, random module is these functionalities only. So these are bare minimum or bare, the minimum basic that you need to know about the random module. Okay. Now, next thing is the collection package. So collection package is also a very important package, which is basically used in Python. So and collections is a package. And collections package may we have classes, lot of classes, right? We have counter class, we have default, DIC, default. Then we have DQ and named tuple, ordered dict, chain map. There are many. And we will see the counter, basically counter class. How do we basically use counter? Okay, so counter is present inside collection package, and collections is also part of Python standard library. Okay, so we'll see how we use counter. So it is basically it's a reference variable. First of all, when you create the counter object, the reference variable of counter will be created, and it's like a dictionary for counting the hash table object. So how does it work? Let's see that. For that, what we have to do? We have to import collections, and collections may from collections import import. What do you want to import? We want to import counter. Okay. Now, how do we use counter? So we can use counter on string, list, tuple, set, and dictionary. Okay. Uh, First of all, let's create the reference of counter. So C equal to counter, I'm creating like this. And inside the parameter, let's pass a word banana. Okay. Now, what it will basically do, it will basically, this will act as a dictionary, right? This will act as a Python dictionary, but yeah, you can, the type of that dictionary will be counter. So it acts as a dictionary, first of all. And dictionary में क्या करता है? It will basically return the count of each of the object present in this dictionary. So इसमें क्या होगा? It will give B, how many times B is there? One time. How many times A is present in this? Three times, and so on, right? So when I'll run this program, print C will be printed as a dictionary with each element appearing in this particular word in this string. Okay, instead of that, let me write it like this so that it will be little bit more readable. str, ठीक है? Now what it will basically do, it will print the character and number of time it is appearing in this particular string in a dictionary format. So if I'll run it, it is printing A is appearing three times and appearing two times, and B is appearing one times. So it's a dictionary, which is a key value pair. Type is counter, class counter. So in interviews, whenever, I mean, it's a very common question in interviews, right? That write a program to print the character total, character, how many times they are appearing in a given list or a given string, right? So this is how you do using counter class. Now instead of string, let's take list 1, 2, 3, 1, 4, 5, 5. Now each element of the list it will print and number of time it is appearing in the list. So if I'll run it, it will print that 1 is appearing 2 times, 5 is appearing 2 times, number 2 is appearing 1 time, 3 is appearing 1 time, and 4 is appearing 1 time. This is how it works. Now uh, it can work on set also, but set may it may not be that relevant because set contains unique element and each element appears only one time, right? So set may you can use it, but it's not meaningful there. So it will print each element appearing one time. So if I run it, see, it will print each element appearing one time. So it is not very much meaningful when you, use that on the set. But yeah, you can use it. Now, what happens if I'll write duplicate elements like this? So set, what it will do, it will by default, it will consider the duplicate element as a redundant element, and then it will basically go and use the counter on it. So still one will appear one time only if I'll run it. See, it is appearing one time only. Why? Because set is a collection of unique element, and even if I'm writing set like this, it is like, eventually it will consider set as this particular, with this particular value. So that is why when I'm running, it is printing like this. So each element is appearing one time. Okay. Now on dictionary, it is little tricky. Let's take one dictionary, DICT. Now DICT may, let's say I am considering that element A is key A has value 5, B also have value 5, and let's take one more key, C have something like this. Okay. Now when I'll use that on dictionary, just dictionary, what it will do, it will just convert this original dictionary into the dictionary, the counter dictionary, right? Now I can use this particular, uh, basically the counter on three things, right? What are those? Directly on any dictionary. So in this case, what is happening? It prints the original dictionary only, right? And then second, on values and on keys of the dictionary, right? Now let's see how do you use that on keys and values. Okay. So let's say if I'll use that on keys, so I'll use dict dot keys. Okay. So when I'll run it, it will print. It will, first of all, this will filter out the keys. So what are the keys here? Keys are A, B, C, right? So A, B, C, A, comma, B, comma, C will be the keys. And then it will, and then we are using counter on it. So it will print how many times each key is appearing. So anyway, so keys are also, unique. So it will print A appearing one time, B appearing one time, C appearing one time. So on keys, it will always print like this. The value will always be one. Yeah. Now what happens when we work, when we basically uh, run it on dict dot values. So values का जब करेंगे, okay, before that let's print this, huh? Print dict dot values. So what it will print basically? इसको let's comment it out for now. So values, dict values, it basically prints dict values, and it basically prints the list of the values, right? So in this line, when I'll use this particular line, it will filter out the values like this, right? 5, 5, 2, because it will filter out all the values in the dictionary. And then when we are using counter on it, so it will print how many times each element is appearing. So 5 will appear 2 times, 2 will appear 1 time. Something like this, it will print in the output. Let's see that. Let me uncomment it. And if I'll run this, it is printing like this, right? 5 is appearing 2 times, 2 is appearing 1 time. So this is, little tricky. So just remember how to use it. And let's see if we can use on dict.items also, what happens when we'll use on dict.items. So on using it on dict.items, so item, this particular item, it will consider as one item because one key value pair is considered as one item. So this particular A comma 5 is appearing one time, B comma 5 is appearing one time, C comma 2 is appearing two times. Let's say if we repeat any keys and if we'll give like this, so key will be, see, the key will again be unique, but the value it will take only one value. So the last value that we are giving, it will take it that value in that particular A key. So output will be like this. So this is how we use counter, and it is very useful package. Collections is a very useful package when you basically attend interview questions, because a lot of questions on a string list, you can use the counter class and solve that particular question within a line, within one line. So just remember how to properly use these, right? Uh, okay. Now there are another functionality. So either counter pay, what we have seen, basic usage we have seen, right? Basic usage किस पे देखी हमने? String पे देखी. We have seen that on list. We have seen that on set. We have seen that on dictionary. Dictionary पे हमने so we have seen on directly on dictionary. On keys we have seen, on values we have seen, and on items we have seen. ठीक, right? And um, next thing what we want to see is finding the most common elements. Most common elements. How to find most common elements? And okay, first see that. Let's see that. Let's say that we have one nums list where I'm writing 1, comma 2, comma 2, comma 3, comma 3, comma 3. And here I want first, let's create counter C equal to counter. Counter on nums I am doing. So it will basically store how many times each element is appearing. And now what I want to do, I want to print most common element appearing in this list. So most common, if I'm giving one, it will print the most common appearing element. First most common, 3, comma 3. Why it is giving 3, comma 3? Okay, before that, if I'll write down 2 here. Okay, 3, comma 3, 2, comma 2. Okay, so what it is doing is that it will basically, when I'm giving this, so before that, let's see, 3 is appearing how many times? 3 times. 2 is appearing 2 times. 1 is appearing 1 time. So when I'm doing most common 1, so ranking wise, most common is this, then this is the ranking I'm giving based on the commonality, right? So when I'm providing this 1 in as the argument, so it will print the first most common. I mean, I mean, it will take one element as the most common, the first element. It will take 3. And how many times it is appearing and what is the element? So it is printing this element and type number of times it is appearing, 3, comma 3. When I'm giving here 2, so it will take first two most common. So first this and second this, along with the element and number of time it is appearing. So that is why 3, comma 3, 2, comma 2 is printed. Instead of 2, comma 2, let's print more 2 here. And 3 go, let's give only 2 times. And when I will give 2 here, so it will print top 2 most common elements appearing here. So the output should be 2, comma 4, and then 3, comma 2 should be the output. 2, comma 4, 3, comma 2. Because 2 is appearing 4 times and 3 is appearing 2 times. And we have given 2 here. If I would have given only 1, so it would have printed just 2, comma 4 like this. Okay. So this is how we use collection. Now, next module, let's quickly see next module. So next module is OS module. So OS module, couple of basic functionalities, what we can use, I mean, what we can, achieve using OS module is first of all, knowing operating system, which operating system we are working on. Then current working directory. Then change directory, list directory. These are common, DOS and Unix functionalities, right? So these are some of the common things that we can basically do. Then mkdir and remove directory, file operation. There are a lot of things here which we can basically achieve. So, but we'll see the common, the basic ones only. So let's see if we want to use the OS module. So what we have to do, we have to do import OS, and again it is part of Python standard library. So you have to just use import OS. You don't have to use any pip command. And you want to know the operating system, on which operating system you are working. So POSIX, POSIX is what will print if I'll use os.name. So it will print the name of the operating system on which this particular machine is based on. So if it is a Windows machine, it will print NT. If it is a Linux or Mac machine, it will print POSIX. So if I'll run it, my machine is Windows machine, so it is printing NT. Now, next thing is to know the current working directory. So in order to know the current working directory, we have to print get cwd. Get C say current, W means working, D means directory. So if I'll run it, okay, this is a function. So like this, I'll have to use, it will print the current working directory in which I am currently, the directory in which I am currently in. Now we have something known as list directory, LIST, list directory. So it will list down the directory uh, in the current directory, in the correct current path. So this is my file, right? Usage variable. So usage variable, excuse me. Usage variable is inside this particular directory. And inside this particular directory, what are directory and files are there? It will list down everything, list directory. So that is why it is printing, see, data. You can see data is one of the directory, then data.csv, then every file it will print fnn.py, lrexample.py, main.py. So everything which is there in the current directory, it will print everything, list directory. So yeah, so this is the basic functionality on how to list the directory. And then you can use mkdir also, which is to make a new directory in the current path. Make directory test a is something which I am giving. So if I'll run, so print ke andar if I'll run, it will print none because mkdir do not return anything. Although it will execute this command internally within print statement, it is printing none because os.mkdir do not return anything. But in the background, you can see left hand side, it has created AA as the new directory. Okay. Similarly, you can use rmdir to remove the directory. So let's remove this directory again. Print may, it should not remove, it should not print, it is not returning anything, so it will print none, and it has deleted the directory that we have just created. So this is how we basically use OS module. Now, next thing what we will see is Python module packages library. It is very important Very basic thing, and it confuses lot of people. Lot of people it confuses. Trust me. And I mean, people are often confused within module and imports. So let's debug that. How to use what are first of all what are basic Python modules, packages, and library. And then we'll see type of imports and yeah, so these things we will see. So before that, I have planned out one quiz today. So I think we have only two people. Let's start that quiz, and then after that quiz, we'll take 10 minutes short break, and then we will resume Python modules, package, and library. So for today's quiz, let me start the presentation. I know there are not many people, but yeah, this is a good practice to basically this is a good habit to do practice on regular basis. So you can see, you can open menti.com in your mobile, and 87289324 is the code which you can dial in there. I can see one player has already joined in. So let's wait for second one. Okay, we have both players are ready. So this is on this quiz on function and classes that we have already studied in our previous session. So let me start the quiz. Okay. So what's A in def F1 star A? Okay, the correct answer is arbitrary parameter, right? Let's see who had answered. Okay, so Raj has answered it correctly. Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay, both players are ready. So let me start the second question. So what's A in def F1 double star A? This must be simple after knowing the answer of first question. Right. So arbitrary keyword parameter is the correct answer. Okay. I think Saugat might be facing some issue. He is not able to click on the answer. But let's see for question number 3. Here it comes on your screen. Which statement is false about global variable or keyword? The correct answer is global variable has high precedence than local variable inside a function. This statement is false because local variable have high precedence over global variable inside a function. Okay, let's go to the next question. Question number 4. What's the correct way of creating object in Python? Correct answer is second option. Okay, let's go to the last question. Okay, I think Sogat had left. Okay, here comes the last question. What is the correct way of defining construction of class ABC in Python? Okay, sorry, before that, I forgot to, yeah, so the third option is the correct one. So this is how we define the constructor in Python. So Raj had scored total 3,180 points, 182 points. Cool. Now we'll take 10 minutes break and then we'll meet up and then start the Python module package and library. So see you in 10 minutes. Hey guys. Okay, so we'll be starting. Sorry. Okay. Uh, Module package library in Python. Okay. So we have modules, something known as modules, then packages, then libraries or library. इसको भी let's name it as singular package and modules. Okay. So let's see what is the difference between module, package, and library, and what are these. So module is basically any .py file or Python file is known as Python module. So any Python related coding that you are doing, so you are saving it as you are saving that in .py file. So every .py file in Python is known as module. So and module are of two types. Before that, let me write down every .py file is modules. Two types. So we have two types of modules basically. What are those? First is something that we call as scripts. Second is non-scripts. So what are scripts? So scripts are basically something which can run standalone. You can run them standalone from command prompt, and they can be imported. Non-scripts can also be imported, but yeah, the major difference between scripts and non-script is that scripts are run on standalone. It basically are built to run from run standalone from command prompt. Non-script are basically used to be imported in other Python modules. So you can run non-scripts from command prompt as well, but nothing will happen. So they are not meant to run. So any .py file or any module that is meant to run standalone from command prompt are known as a script. Other things or the other modules are known as non-scripts. Example of non-scripts can be modules just containing functions and classes, no other line of code, and modules just containing constants. So Python config, files or Python config modules are the example of non-scripts. And packages basically contain different modules, and direct library basically contain different packages and different modules. So isme what is the hierarchy? So top level hierarchy is basically library. So library is something which contains everything. Library contains packages, or let's say package यहाँ पे, or let me create different packages here. This is package 1, package 2, and so on. So this is package 1, and this is package 2, and packages, respective packages contains modules, module 1, module 2, and so on. Similarly, package 2 will also be collection of modules and even the sub packages also. Module A, module 1, let's say, module 2, something like this. So module is a simple Python file, and any directory containing more than one file, one basically module is known as package. And there is one more rule for package. So in order to make any directory as a package, it should have um, init.py file. Why we add init.py file is basically to mark that particular directory as package in Python. So any directory containing underscore init underscore dot py file will be identified as a package. if there is no init.py file in that particular directory, it is just simply known as directory, not a package. So this is the basics of Python package module and library. Now let me open one of the slides that I have created for module Python packages. Okay, yeah, this one. So as I said, right, Python module, every py file is Python module. There are two types of Python module, scripts and non-script. Then Python package is directory containing different modules or different .py files. And to make any directory as package, it should have init.py file. And packages can contain sub packages also. Python libraries directory containing different packages and or sub packages. And these are the Python libraries are something which are installed via pip. Okay, now if we'll talk about uh, some of the examples of Python modules. Okay, so Python modules, let's see what are the Python modules. So some of the example of Python modules are math.py, right? OS, os.py, and etc. Some of the example of Python packages that we have seen. So collections is basically one of the packages. Then we have numpy dot linalg. So this particular package contains everything related to linear algorithms. And we have email package, HTTP package. And some of the example of Python libraries. So Python libraries, they are installed using pip command. And the examples are anything that you install using pip. So numpy package, numpy library, pandas, matplotlib, seaborn, scikit-learn, tensorflow, torch, request, flask, django. There are like 100 of Python libraries, right? So this is the example of modules, packages, and library. Now, Python libraries is divided into two parts. First one is Python standard library, right? That comes as part of Python installation in your system, and then third-party libraries. So third-party libraries are the ones which I have told, which I have mentioned, right? That can be installed using pip. And Python standard libraries, you don't have to use pip. So from here, let me cut out this line. And this gives much clear picture. So Python libraries are divided into two parts: Python standard library and Python third-party libraries. And Python standard libraries are something. Libraries, what does it contains? It contains packages as well as modules, right? So modules may, what are the examples? I mean, uh, what are the examples of module that comes under Python standard libraries? We have already seen math.py, os.py, random.py, whatever we have seen, couple of minutes back. And it can contain packages also, right? It contains packages also. So packages, some of the examples of packages inside Python standard libraries are collections, right? Collections. And then we have email, HTTP. So these are some of the packages that are contained inside Python standard libraries. Third-party libraries, we have already seen, right? I've already written NumPy, Pandas, and anything which you install using pip command. So this is how the overall picture looks with respect to Python modules, packages, and libraries. Okay, now let's see the rules with modules and imports. Okay, let me create two modules. Okay. Okay, I've already created module 1. So we have a module 1 and module 2. Sorry. Okay, so the module 1 has this code. Okay, before that, module 2. So module 2, I have written first line of module 2. Then I've defined two functions. And we have this. So this is known as magic string, this particular thing. So this particular, the part, so this particular part or the main, what we call it as magic string main, it basically runs only when script is run, this particular thing is run from command prompt. It doesn't run if the module is imported. Okay. So what will happen if, let's say, if I'll run module2.py, what it will do, it will run this line. It will run from first line. It will run first line of module 2, and then it will define. I mean, the functions are defined, so nothing is happening. So function, unless the functions are called, nothing will happen. And then this magic string will be executed because we will be running it on a standalone or command prompt. And then it will print magic string of module 2 and then F1 के अंदर F1 of module 2. See this. So it is printing first line of module 2, magic string of module 2, and F1 of module 2. Why it is happening? Because I'm running current file, right? So when I'm running this module, uh, it's on a standalone basis, then this particular main part runs. If this module is imported in some other module, then the main part will not run. How it happens? Let's see that also. So module 2 may I have imported module 2, and then I have printed these lines. Welcome to module 1. Welcome to last line of module 1. Okay. इसको comment this out first. So इसमें what will happen is that, okay, sorry, I don't have to comment this out. So whenever imports are there, now what happens whenever we see any imports within the packet, within the modules? So whenever we saw imports, so the rule says that the execution will happen from first line to last line. This is the first rule, everyone knows. And whenever import is there for any of the modules, so module 2 is imported here, na? So on line 1, this basically means executing the whole module 2. Executing whole module 2 in first line itself. So before it will move to second line, it will first execute each line of the module 2. Once it will do that, then it will go to line number 3, line number 4. So when I'll run this program, complete module 2, the code inside complete module 2 from first line to last line will execute. And the other rule says that whenever main is there and the module is imported, this will not execute. So when I'm running this program, when I'm running this module, first line as part of module 2, it will run first line of module 2, and then that's it. It will run first line of module 2. Then it will print welcome to module 1. Then it will print last line of module 1. And then I am again, importing module 2 as empty, M2, before that, let me, print, let me comment out this and run this first. See, it is printing first line of module 2 as part of this line, right? First line of module 2. Then it is printing welcome to module 1. Then it is printing last line of module 1. Now module 1 I am running on a standalone manner, right? So इसमें if there is any main part, so main part will run. So main part में magic string, all these 4 lines will run, which it is running. Okay. Now what is happening? Now let me uncomment this. When I'm uncommenting this, again we have a import module statement, right? So again, module 2 will be executed again. Whenever import statement is there, it will basically execute the importing module from first line to last line, except the main part. So again, same thing will happen. It will again print first line of module 2. And then I am calling F1 and F2 of module 2. Now F1 I am calling from the alias name, and F2 I am calling from the direct module name. So both of them are same. So if I'll run this program, you can see it is running first line of module 1, which is line number 1, line number 3, and line number 5. It is printing as it is. Now, okay. Um, One on module 2. Okay, I'm wondering why it is not printing first line of module 2. So why it is not printing first line of module 2? Because I'm importing module 2 as MD. Instead of that, let me do this as import module and something like this. If I'll run it now, okay, it's not printing as first line of module 2. Hmm. Okay, 1 second. Let me reduce these line first. First line. Okay, it's what happened. So if I run this now, first line of module 2. Okay, any idea why it is not running first line of module 2 again here when I'm calling Raj?
Uh, no.
This is something. Okay, 1 second. Let me run it standalone once. CMD Python -m module 1. Okay, first line of module 1. Okay, I'll come back. I'll come to this part in the next class. But the rule says that main will only be executed whenever the module is run on the standalone basis. Whenever it is imported, then the main part is not executed. So these are some of the rules with the modules. Okay. Now, uh, now let's see the types of imports in Python. So types of imports in Python, types of imports. So first is known as absolute import. Second is known as selective import. Third is known as relative imports. And then imports with alias. So absolute import are these things, right? Import OS directly when we are importing. And let's say uh, whenever so if there is any module inside a package, let's say inside any package, let's say my directory is there, right? So यहाँ पे if I will write something like import, and my directory is one of the directory or packages inside the current project. Then let's say JSON util. If I'll do something like this is also absolute import. Import math directly or import OS, which I'm doing, that is also the example of absolute import. Now, what is selective import? So selective import is basically, let's say if I am doing import math, let's say from some module, I want to selectively import something. So from math, import SQRT. So I'm just importing SQRT. So this is the example of selective import. So SQRT, if I'll do SQRT of 2, something like this, I can directly use. If I'll run it, it is printing this. So if I would not have used this, and if I would have directly used absolute import from or directly import math, and let me comment this out. So in order to use SQRT, I have to use math.sqrt like this. So that is why if you just directly want to use the function as it is without the name of the module, you can do selective import. So from math import SQRT, that is one thing. And then, from math import asterisk is also one thing. Asterisk directly you can use. So this is the another way of doing the selective import. So third thing is relative import. So relative import is basically when you are dealing with the directories. So directories, dealing with the directory means, let's say from the current directory, you have to import some sibling module, right? So from current directory is denoted by single dot. If you want to import any sibling module, so sibling means existing on the same path, right? So this is how you do that. If let's say from the parent module, you want to import some parent module, so you have to go one level up, which is denoted by double dots, and then import some parent module. So this is the relative import. And import with alias, you already know, we have seen that. So from, let's say, import math as M I am doing. And what I will do now, print m.sqrt, sqrt of 4. So instead of using the complete name of the module, I can use the alias name that I have given M. So 2.0. So can I use math as OS? OS is another module. If I use OS now here in this case, it will still run. But what will happen if I use OS like this, import OS? And when I'll run it, this will become redundant and OS will be taken from the math module. Let's try to use some, let's say os.name if I want to do. It will throw the error because it has taken OS as the alias name from the alias name of the math module. So we have to be very careful that the alias that we are giving is not contradicting with any other existing module. Otherwise, it will create a lot of issues. Cool. So this is about Python modules and types of imports and difference between module, packages, library. Now, from tomorrow, we'll have a crash course on NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib. And we'll wrap up Python, level four also by tomorrow. And then from next weekend onwards, we'll start machine learning. Cool. Anything, Raj, you want to
No,
speak up? Cool.
Abhinish.
Cool. Let's meet tomorrow and then we'll be starting NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.